Hi everybody. Before we get going today, we're going to talk about silver, but I must bring up the disclaimer here, so please refer to our financial services guide on our website. And in addition here, any advice is general advice, does not consider your personal objectives, so please do speak to your financial advisor. Past performance is not a reliable indicator of future performance. Forecasts and back tests used for this discussion are intended as a guide only, and actual results may be affected by known or unknown risks and uncertainties, and therefore may differ materially from the results ultimately achieved. All right, with that said, let's jump out of here. And what we've done is we've put together a Silver Superstars. That's the name I've given it there. Silver Superstars. It's produced some spectacular results. You can see here in this back test here over the last 7 years, 2015 through until the 17th of January. It's annualized 17% returns a year, or compounded at just shy of 12% compound rate of return, and the max drawdown there less than 23%. So it's very impressive considering this is for silver. All right, because silver, isn't it interesting? Silver is often, I certainly find, often tends to be overlooked. If there's a discussion on commodities, it would be copper and gold, and to some extent silver, but it certainly is not a commodity that tends to be in the limelight. And I guess for good reason here. So here's a website. If you type this into Google Asset Market Cap, and there you'll find, say, the first link there, this website here, companiesmarketcap.com. And look at gold. Gold's $11.5 trillion market capitalization. So the total worth, the value of gold out there. Followed by Apple, Microsoft. You see silver comes in at 7th place at 1.3 trillion. Okay, so it's a little bit dwarfed by gold. But you can see also, look at Bitcoin. Many people note that this is digital gold. Time will tell. But it's certainly come up massively in its value over the years. But you can see it's got a long way to go before it catches up to gold. Okay, so silver there in at 7th place for some of the biggest market capitalizations out there. So I got to work with a top 10 market capitalization asset. Let's give silver some recognition, and away I went. Okay, you can see over here, if I click on reports and click on the summary report here, you can see the results, 109 trades in total, so just over one trade a month on average over the 7 years. And you can see over here the drawdown there, 22.38. It's pretty impressive considering some of the volatility over the last 7 years. And you can see how that 25,000 has grown to 55,000 to get those returns. The best trade there, Oz Minerals. Now, it doesn't matter which way I cut, sliced, and diced the back testing different derivations to see the better results I could get. I found that Oz Minerals there, you just couldn't escape Oz Minerals. It produced some pretty spectacular results, which drove a lot of these portfolios. Now, let me show you some of the settings. Before I show you the settings, let's just go and show you the watch list behind the silver stocks. All right, so if I click on viewers, and if you then go to watch list viewer, so you click on viewers, you'll be greeted by this page here. You go to watch list viewer, and under here, the one you want to go and click on is the group there called commodities. Okay, commodities there. Within commodities is silver. And here it all is. I'll right click any one of the given stocks and auto fit all columns, and we've got 24 stocks in total. Now, just a word of caution on this. These stocks, most of them are not pure silver players. It's very difficult to find pure silver players. There's not many of them. All right. A lot of these companies have associations with silver. What I mean by that is that they might mine, gold and silver in addition to several precious metals. Okay, so a lot of them are not just pure silver players. BHP, we know a lot of the revenue comes from iron ore and copper, for example, but yes, they do bring in money from silver as well. Okay, so here they all are, and there's that one that has done really well over the years, Oz Minerals. If I just graph this selected stock here, you can see, if I bring it up over here and bring it back over time, look at those earnings currently, the 12-month leading forecast on earnings, spectacular. You can see how that share price has really sort of gone up massively over the years. So The power of those rising earnings in recent times is really sort of driven Oz Minerals, and you can see from about 215, 216, away it went. So there it is, around about 215. Just bring it in just a tad more, but just in from there, up went the earnings, and look at that, a low point there of where was the price, about 350 odd, right up to $28. All right, so that has been one of the better performers in these companies associated with silver. If I come down to the bottom here, the watch list average, and I right click on the watch list average here and open up the graph here and put on the EPS for the average of all these stocks and pull it back over time, you'll see that these silver stocks have really started to turn the corner. They were under a lot of pressure here. The earnings were falling away. And then look what's happened. In recent times, those earnings started to take off. Now, if I zoom it in here, all right, so I've just zoomed it in, and look at that. Look at those earnings, how those earnings have really taken off. Now, what's interesting is that, you can see as the earnings have turned, $4 odd, the average of all these stocks has now gone up to $5, so about a 25% increase. But it has been a bit volatile, and that's what I found with some of these silver-associated companies. There has been a bit of volatility, but as long as you see the average of those earnings powering up, you know that on average this is going to lift up as the earnings power on. Now, bearing in mind that that's all 24-odd companies, and what we'll do when we backtest, of course, we're only going to pick the best of the best, depending on the uni searches that you can put together to tie back into silver. So the uni search I built was as follows, a very simple one. Under my long searches, I simply created this uni search and said stocks filter by watch list. So I clicked on parameters there, stocks filter by watch list equals, and then the value simply just became the commodities group, and then I clicked on silver, and that was it. So now all we would be doing is tying back in just to those 24 silver related stocks, and I left it by default to sort by VST, and I saved the uni search. I then went into backtester and I created the new backtesters as follows. So I'll just edit this just to speed it up. So you give it a name. I gave the name there Silver Superstars, and I kept it at 25,000, and everything else there the same per your standard settings. And then from here, I used the confirm signals, our most conservative timing signals. Automation rules up. I just tied it back in to silver, the uni search that I've just shown you how to set up, the very simple uni search. Stop criteria, VST less than 1.1, and under more settings here, a total of 4. Now I played around, I went up to 10, brought it down to 5, to 3, settled at 4, got some pretty good results at 4, got some pretty spectacular results at 3. Bearing in mind that this is a specialized portfolio. So if you're just purely looking at, say, silver stocks, this just gives you some ideas if you were to buy, say, 3 or 4 odd silver stocks. It's certainly not a portfolio in its own right. It's a portfolio for a specialized type of stock, in this particular case, a silver stock. Maximum of 2 stocks in a day, don't close any open position, invest average portfolio value, odd lots, limit of purchases. I put it in there at 30 days. I wasn't going to restrict the industry or sector because, well, effectively I'm looking at silver, and no more than 2% of a stock's average volume. No action on a confirmed down. All right, so if you've got the order timer, you've got the ability to set all this up. If you'd like to get access to order timer, give our team a call at support. Australia toll-free 1800 303 782. The team can set you up on a 2-week trial to trial out. It's great fun having the ability to do this, and it really highlights some important findings. All right, so I then just set the date back to the start of 2015. All right, so the first trading day of 2015, the last 7 years, and you can run it up to where you wish. In this particular case, I'd run it up to the 17th. You can update it until the next day. Put it to your current date, whatever your current date is as of time of viewing here, and run the test and see the results that you get. I thought this was a pretty spectacular run just purely for silver. Bearing in mind that some of those stocks have been volatile, it is a big commodity out there, and it certainly is worthy of its top 10 market capitalization. I can certainly see some of those silver stocks there really powering away. Now this is where it gets interesting. If I look at the current holdings, you see Oz Minerals made most of the returns at 196%. So out of the back testing, it just became very interesting to say, well, Oz Minerals, it didn't matter how I sort of back tested this, I just couldn't escape Oz Minerals. And then BHP was our next best returns in terms of a stock. And if you click on reports, you can look at the trade history, and you can bring that up. And if you look at the percentages again, look at these returns coming through here. If I look at the net amount, there's BHP, and then in comes Oz Minerals at third place, Newcrest Mining. So it's just interesting to see how everything has stacked up. And you can see if you run your eye down the average returns, if I click it as a percent here, the average would probably come in around about here somewhere, say between 30 and 50, say 35 odd percent would be the average. Well, maybe a little bit lower. Maybe it might be a 25. I'd need to run an average across the gains there, but it'll be around about there, about 20, 25, right? And your average loss here, it's not a very high figure at all. It's about 10 to 12% for your average loss, and that's what constructing and backtesting a portfolio is all about. You're wanting to win more than what you're losing on average, time again. So if you get the chance, you might want to put the silver superstars together, take a look. This is the initial starting point. We're certainly going to experiment a bit more to see if we can improve this further. And once we're happy, just like we were with the Dividend Aristocrats, it took a whole year later of stress testing and ensuring that we were happy, we then released that, and that's now in your portfolio. So just to follow up just from the other week, so there it is now. You've got it in your portfolios. If you go to your VectorVest portfolios, you'll have it in there, the Enhanced Dividend Aristocrats, right? So everybody's got that template in VectorVest. Look at that, pretty spectacular one that you can track each and every day. Returning back to our back tester there, so this is silver for now. Take a look, see what you think. Hope you got a lot out of it. Until next week, bye for now.
Yeah.